What's up guys, Austin with Rock Bottom Cats here, and in today's video I'm going to go over the two primary catfish rigs that I use when I'm fishing. They're very common rigs and they can be used in a variety of different fishing environments, and you can kind of customize them to that environment. So I'm going to go over some of the ways you can customize them, and we'll talk about how to set up these rigs as well. So you guys stick around and let's get started. Alright guys, so the first rig I'm going to show y'all is the Carolina rig. This is probably one of the most popular rigs and probably one of the easiest rigs when it comes to a catfishing rig. I've got two rigged up here that I'm going to show y'all. I've got them rigged up for two different types of fishing, and the first one here is my suspend fishing rig. As far as that rig goes, I've got it no-knot snell attaching a 10-aught Trophy Cat tackle circle hook. I've got about a 12-inch leader, 10 to 12 inch leader. It's 80 pound mono. I've got it attached to a barrel swivel with a Palomar knot. And then before you attach it to your main line, this little short line here is representing that you're going to want to take your weight and a bead and drop on that main line, and then I take another Palomar knot and connect to that swivel. Now the reason I call this my suspend fishing rig is, one, I've got a pretty short leader line on here since I'm just going to be dropping this straight down. And two, I use egg sinkers whenever I'm suspend fishing. This particular one is a 8 ounce, and I usually use 8 to 10 ounces depending on the current or wind, if I'm kind of getting blown around a little bit out there, or if you're drifting. What this is going to do is help hold it straight down. That way, if you're getting any type of movement or current, it's not pulling your weight up like this as you're moving, which then makes it hard for you to control your depth that you're suspending this. So that's my suspend fishing rig using a Carolina rig. Now the second Carolina rig I'm going to show you is my live bait setup. And it's basically the exact same thing, except I've used a different weight and I've added an extra little piece to it and used a longer leader line. This particular one, I've got a little bit bigger hook on here. I've got a 12-aught Team Catfish circle hook. Then you'll see, there we go, I've got some beads on here, and I guess y'all can probably hear this. You can hear a little rattle on here I have after that. What that's gonna do is give me some noise as that live bait is out there swimming around. Hopefully he's gonna make that rattle, make some fuss down there, and attract some fish with it. The other thing different I've done than what you saw with my suspend fishing rig is I've got about a 2-foot leader on here, and I'll usually do anywhere from 2 to 3 feet for that leader line, depending on, there's a variety of circumstances, but rule of thumb, do at least 2 feet in my opinion. Got it attached to a barrel swivel the exact same way. And then one other thing that I've done here is I'm using a no-roll sinker instead of the egg sinker. The no-roll sinker is going to sit on the bottom of the lake or the river that you're fishing a lot better than that egg sinker. If you've got current or anything, it'll definitely lay down there and hopefully not move as much as that egg sinker. But that's really the only, the weights, the leader, and the sinker, that's the only difference. How you set it up is the exact same thing. And you don't have to put beads and a rattle on here if you're using the Carolina rig. It's just something extra you can do to hopefully increase your odds. One thing I do want to talk about is the point of having what does the Carolina rig kind of do for you as far as having this weight sliding freely on your main line versus a weight attached with, let's say, a 3-way swivel or something. So for me, I use clickers a lot. And one thing I don't want to have is resistance when that fish grabs it, because I got to run over there and set that hook. And what this is going to do, when it starts pulling the clicker, it's going to start pulling this line, and you can see it's moving, the weight staying where my hand is. It'll keep on going, which obviously the clicker is going to add some resistance, but it's not near as much as what a 5 or 6+ ounce sinker is going to add. Plus, you run the risk of this getting hung up, and there's a lot of resistance. Then fish is going to feel that, and he might spit the bait. So that's why I like having something that has very little resistance, and this can slide up through here. Another thing that this has benefited me as far as in river systems, when I have current, if my weight gets hung up, sometimes I can let some line out and the current will pull the bait, and if the hook the weight's hung, it might pull the weight loose. If the hook's hung, it might let the hook float free. So it gives me a little bit of play there to help get unsnagged. So that's just doesn't always work, but that's something beneficial about having this free moving weight as well. So that's the Carolina rig. As you can see, you can do a lot with just a little bit and change it up depending on your needs, but overall, super simple to do. All right, so for the second rig I'm gonna show you, it's gonna be the Santee Cooper Rig. I use this rig probably 90 to 95% of the time when I'm bank fishing or if I'm casting out from a kayak or a boat. And all this rig really is a Carolina rig with a peg float attached to it. It's just gonna give you a lot better presentation of your baits in certain situations. So I'll go over how you set it up real quick and kind of explain why I like to use it. As far as how you set it up, just like with the Carolina rig, I snell a circle hook on to about this case, 18 to 24 inch leader. You can go a little bit longer, you can go a little bit shorter. It just depends on how high you want your bait up off the bottom. Got it attached here or with a Palomar knot to a barrel swivel. In this case, I used a sinker slider with a coin sinker, and I'll explain why about that in just a second as well. So how this works, get this here. Let's assume this is the bottom. You're gonna cast out. This float's gonna float your bait up off the bottom. And the reason I like this is where I fish, it's extremely rocky. I don't want my baits falling down any type of rocks. Just makes it one harder for the fish to find, and it kind of hides the scent a little bit. So this right here is gonna float it up off the bottom, give you a lot better bait presentation and help get your scent out there. Another thing with this, you can use it for live bait, but I use it for cut bait more than anything. And if you're fishing any type of slow to moderate current, this is actually going to give you some nice movement to give you a better presentation and hopefully help track the fish. Obviously, if it's really high current, you're probably not going to use this because you might have this out there just thrashing around, and that's not going to be ideal either. And it also might pull your sinker up off the bottom. So you don't always want to use this, but if you've got slow to moderate current, you do get that extra benefit of having some movement from this. Now, as far as the sinker goes, the reason I've got this coin sinker on a sinker slider is I can use this setup for two different types of fishing. Pop this off and I can grab one of these drifting weights right here. This particular one is made by Jimmy Smith with Santee drifters, and I can attach it. I can get it to go on. There we go. And now I've got my dragging set up ready to go. Super simple, didn't have to do anything else to it. And the way this works is when you throw it out there, this is going to be set up for dragging weights behind a boat or a kayak. When this falls on the bottom, the line's dragging it along, it's going to keep this pulled up and it'll pull it over any type of rough terrain underneath there and hopefully help keep you from getting snagged. You want to run this with a Santee rig because you're going to want this float to keep your hook and your bait up off the bottom, so that's not getting snagged. So that's the main reason why I like to use these sinker slides versus one of the inline weights like the no roll or the egg for this particular setup, because I can use it for two purposes, and the swap takes me about 10 seconds or less to swap out. So all right guys, so those are the two primary catfishing rigs that I use when I'm fishing. Obviously there is a ton of different rigs out there that you can try. Just for me, I prefer these for a lot of reasons, but mainly because they're easy to set up, easy to use, and I can change them depending on the type of environment that I'm fishing. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you have questions about either one of these rigs, you can leave them in the comments below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. And if you want to see more videos from me, check out my YouTube channel, rockbottomcats. I've got a lot of fishing videos and I've got some other gear videos up there that I posted, and there'll be more coming. While you're at it, check out the description below. There's going to be a link down there for the Catfish Conference website. It will announce any upcoming events they might be having. And if you're not doing so already, check out the Catfish Conference YouTube page. They are posting a ton of great videos. I'm contributing some, plus they've got Catfish Conference videos from the events in the past, and they've got other special guests on there that are going to be creating some videos for you guys as well. So make sure you check out their channel and subscribe as well. As always, I appreciate you guys taking time to watch the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.